Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Ocean's Pit, the little show about big things. I hope you guys are having a great day today. I'm having a great day. I hope you're having a great day, folks. Today is Friday, November 4th, and we got a big show on today, man. First of all, thank you all for watching the show. Really do appreciate it. Check the website, TonyOceanMusic.com, and give us a call at 847-769-8609. Big show's coming up, folks. It's on Wednesday, November 16th. We're talking about American Badass. American Badass documentary, folks. It's going to be live at the Des Plaines Theater Wednesday, November 16th. Ron Onesti, Jimmy Place, BJ Murray. It's going to be a lot of fun, man. I can't wait for this particular documentary movie premiere. Joe Factor Entertainment. It's going to be fantastic with the great American actor, of course, Michael Madsen, who's going to be on our show today, ladies and gentlemen. It's a retrospective of his life, and we're so excited to be part of that American Badass coming out. Now, if you want tickets for that show, folks, going to go to oshows.com for Wednesday, November 16th at the Des Plaines Theater. Mojo's Jukebox are going to be performing before the film. Mancow Mueller will be there interviewing Mr. Madsen. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and we're so excited to have him on the show. So, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, first of all, before we bring up Mike real fast, thank you, everybody that came out to Zaza's last night in Lake Barrington. Jeff Dubray, thank you so much. And everybody, tonight we'll be at Chicago Prime Steakhouse, and tomorrow we'll be opening for John Waite at the Arcada Theater in St. Charles. All right, so without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to bring on, you do it. So I'd like to bring onto the screen, ladies and gentlemen, one of the greatest American actors of our time, and one of my favorite actors of all time, Mr. Michael Madsen. Michael, how you doing, sir?
Good morning, Tony.
Good morning, sir. Thank you so much for being on the show. We really do appreciate it, man. I am so excited. You're in Chicago.
I like your shirt, man.
Hey, Michael, it's all you, buddy. It's all you. That's all you. It's the Sunny Black, baby. But anyway, I just want to say I've been a big fan of yours. Yeah, I seen your documentary last year in Elmhurst. I love the doc. It's so well received, and it just hits some great points. What I love the part in the documentary, Michael, when they mentioned about a scene in Kill Bill where they didn't want you to wear the hat, and you wanted to wear the hat, and it was very important. It stole the whole scene, right?
I bought that hat in Mexico. I was doing a Western, and the read-through for Kill Bill. So I was going, so Quentin, I think, misunderstood me that I was going to wear it. He finally let me do it, so thank God. But then he very clever had to take off the hat, so it was very emotional. But it turned out to be great.
Absolutely. Well, we're so excited to have you on the show, and we're excited to come out on the 16th of November, folks, at the Des Plaines Theater. It's going to be debuted there, oshows.com for tickets. All right, Michael, a Chicago guy. You were born in Chicago. You growing up, would you had a big influence? Anybody influenced you? Were you close with your father?
Father was a Chicago fireman.
Yes.
So I was very, he was a hero to me. Buddies were Chicago cops, so if there weren't firemen around the house, it was so. I had some pretty good influence there, and to men that it was good for a kid to be around back in those days.
Yeah, absolutely, Michael. But did you ever think? I mean, did you ever think of becoming a fireman when you were growing up, or did you always? How did you want to become an actor? When did that hit you?
Well, my father, of course, wanted me to be. I thought about it a lot, but I was in a bit too much trouble when it wasn't going to work out that way. But I did go to school to be a paramedic. I attended. I thought that would have made my dad happy, but I accidentally went to who was in my class for the paramedic school. Didn't get the part that day, but somebody saw me walking around and asked me if I was interested in pumping gas. And I was changing flat tires and driving a tow truck. So being an actor in Hollywood was not something on my radar, but how it happened, it was an accident, and I ended up in California.
Well, that's just fantastic. How was it when you got your very first role? I mean, your famous role. I mean, how was it? I mean, it must be a great.
You know, I didn't know what I was doing at first. I pretended that I knew what I was doing, and so acting. So I didn't realize it, but I honestly didn't know what I was doing. I liked a lot of old black and white pictures.
Sure.
Humphrey Bogart and Kirk, Lee Marvin, and a lot of actors that I had watched as a kid. I sort of figured out what they were doing. I funny way, and I was imitating them basically, you know, and I was just imitating them and teachers anybody could ever have.
Yeah, I mean, and those some of the greats that you just mentioned, and there's a lot in you. I see that when you do your work like that. Being from Chicago, do you have a fan? You a Cubs or Sox fan?
I would say both. I threw out the first pitch at a Cubs ago, and I went to White Sox games when I was in Chicago. So, baseball. And every time I said I was a White Sox fan, and if I said I was a Cubs fan, I'm a White Sox guy.
Yeah.
We get mad. So both sides of the.
So you're screwed. You're screwed either way, Michael. No matter what side you try to go to.
Yeah. I'm done.
You've made some incredible films, and I mean, there's so many. I mean, Hateful Eight, Donnie Brasco, Reservoir Dogs, A Natural, Thelma and Louise. I mean, Kill Bill, such and such. But what makes a great director?
Well, I think when it comes to, I got very lucky with him because he understood me, kind of let me do what I wanted to do, but he sort of knew what I wanted me to do. So it's a very strange thing, but it has to be a work in progress. And I always thought the director was the like I say, I got lucky with him. Picture with somebody else, I missed Quentin. I missed his atmosphere because it was easy for me, and he made it fun. He made it serious for me, and I knew exactly what he wanted me to do, and I liked doing it for him. It was just I never had to be stressed out or worried about what was going to turn out because I knew walking in the door that it was going to be good. So it made my job a lot easier.
A lot easier, yeah, and that's true. And like when you prepare for a role, I mean, I know some people, if you do a story on a real person, I mean, you look back at the background. How do you actually get into that mood to prepare for certain roles?
Well, I used to read everything. I'd read everybody's part, and that was my own. And so I really overstudied, I think, and I took overboard with getting ready for something. And then I realized that I understood them, psychologically.
Yeah.
I'd been around and like doing Donnie Brasco. I met a lot of fellas in New York that
sure
were around a lot, and they had a place for me and other people, and that was one. That's about as close as you're ever going to get to something like that. And I was always grateful to that kind of influence around me when I had to do certain things. The big, you can't take it home with you because, you leave in the morning, you say goodbye to your wife and your kids, and then later, if you've been,
you gotta complete, you
gotta go home, and when you get home and you walk in the door, you're not, but it's a tricky to balance it out sometimes, but I was lucky with my boys and my family.
Well, Michael, they said there are a lot of actors. They say that they're out there, and sometimes they stay in character, even like when they're on break or they eat lunch. They want to be called by their name, so they lose the concentration. They want to concentrate.
I never went that far.
Right? That's overdoing a little bit.
That's like a Sean Penn thing.
Yeah.
And I know his brother Chris was a dear friend of mine. We did
great actor.
I love Chris and I miss him so much, but I never was like you sort of have to stay in character to a certain degree because the picture is a very fast day, and it's a very fast sketch. So there's not a lot of laying around, or I mean, you really got to stay in character. And so it's a great atmosphere. Like I say, you become a part of what you're shooting, and that's why it's tricky to leave at the end when the whole thing is over. You look back and you just hope that
Michael, you still there? Yeah, that makes complete sense. Mike, do you go, Michael, when you go back and look at the movies after you've done it? A lot of actors don't do that. Do you actually go back and watch it when it comes out?
Well, I'm not really a big of the whole kind of celebrity thing. I seldom liked any of the pictures that I did right off they're on. Maybe a year later or so, or when I would see one of them, appreciated it a lot more after some time had gone by.
Sure.
I was too much. When it's first finished, I was really critical of everything, but you start to appreciate it and you see it in a different way. And if the picture's done that admire it or remember it, it becomes something after time goes by.
Well, Michael, you're doing an incredible job. And as you go along, you see these great films, and then you miss, like, when you watch it 2 or 3 other times, you miss parts that you might have not seen the first time it's there. But it's fantastic. Michael, what makes a good script? You must get a lot of scripts. How do you know this is the one I want to do, this one I don't want to do? How does that work?
Well, I once got a script called Elvis. It was about Elvis Presley's illegitimate son who things like that it's I think early on when you're reading whether or not it's going to go somewhere. And I get a lot of silly stuff I shouldn't have done. I've made a few pictures that I wish that I hadn't, but somewhere along that. So,
40 years, Michael.
I'm a bricklayer. I'm an electrician. I'm an architect. I and sometimes you can't always get the job you want, but I'm really blessed to have gotten a few that I've done that turned out to be pretty good.
Absolutely. 40 years into business, Michael. I heard something, and maybe you can get this rumor here. Let me know. Pulp Fiction. Were you up for the Hitman? You were doing another movie. You couldn't do it, so the role got to John Travolta. Is that true?
Well, the thing is that I was already contracted to. I had come back from. I made a picture called and after the getaway. During the getaway, I went to California because I had and I met Larry Kasdan, and I wanted to play Doc Holliday, and he had already given the part to Dennis Quaid. So I was actually got up to leave. Offered me Virgil, which is Wyatt's brother, and I, as long as I got Carell, I was satisfied. By the time I got back to Arizona shooting the getaway, my agent was already on the phone telling me that they made the car at Earp. So I was already contracted to do that thing. And so Pulp came up, I couldn't do both of them. I couldn't do both pictures. I was always thinking that John owes me some money because I'm
Yes.
just, I'm just, I'm just kidding, of course. But
Yeah,
you
of
know,
course.
Justin, I love John, but you know what? His career got a great big jump from that, and I love Quentin and the producers and everybody else. They did well for that. But you know what? The thing is that Reservoir Dogs was not really that well recognized until Pulp Fiction came out, because
Sure.
then everybody went back to take a second of our dogs, because it was a little independent film that had not been in a lot of theaters. Pulp Fiction gave Reservoir Dogs a second life and a new life for all the actors and for Quentin.
Absolutely. We're watching Ocean's Pit, the little show about big things. We got American icon, American badass, of course, Michael Manson with us, ladies and gentlemen, talking about his 40 years in the film industry. The Natural had to be one of the best, I think, one of the best baseball movies ever. How was that experience and working with Mr. Redford too?
Well, you know what? I got offered another movie at the same time as that. It was a Peter Weller picture. Forget the name of it. But Peter Weller directed an episode by 50 years later. So, we finally got together. But because I had not been able to play sports in high school, I was not I didn't excel in school. And so, because my grades weren't not good enough, I played football for a while. I snuck in there. Swimmer, I snuck in there for those, but I wanted to play ball. And in that movie, that's what I was going to do. And
Sure.
I thought it would be I grew up with who used to, thumb their nose at me because I was the kid in the parking lot, when I should have been on a field somewhere.
Somewhere in the field, yes.
Yeah, they might stumble in the theater and say, "Oh my God, holy Christ, baseball!" Yeah, well, that was part of the reason why I did that.
Well, Michael, that's fantastic. Talking about Reservoir Dogs, Quentin Tarantino, of course, a genius at what he does. I heard that you wanted the part of Mr. Pink. Is that true? Instead of Mr. Blonde.
You can't really think of anybody else but Steve as Mr. Pink, because he was Mr. Pink. But before that, before it was recognized, it was the Wild West. I mean, anybody could have been. I think nobody could have done it, including me, as well as Steve, of course. But honestly, I was a bit naive back then, and thought it was one of the best things I had read ever. But I wasn't really sure about it. Mr. Orange is going to shoot Mr. Blonde, and I did Mr. Orange, right?
Yeah.
And when they told me, I didn't want to get shot by him. He was very I was really silly and naive, and I don't want to get shot. I don't know who I thought, and maybe I thought Kirk Douglas should shoot me, but naive. And so I actually told the producer, I got cast in that movie as Mr. Blonde before I ever even met Quentin. I told them that I was not sure about Mr. Blonde, and I might want to play a different. Quentin actually let me come in and audition for Mr. Pink, even though in the movie in Mr. Blonde. So I studied all Mr. Pink's lines, and that's when I first met Quentin over at 20th Century Bungalow, and he was in there with Harvey Keitel. I knew Harvey and Louise, so when I walked in there, Harvey was sitting on the couch, and Quentin was with his arms crossed, and he goes, "Well, Michael, so you want to read Mr. Pink? Like, yeah. So Harvey said, I'll do it with him. And he got up, thank God. And we did a couple of scenes of Mr. Pink and Mr. White. And Quentin crossed and never said a word. And when I thought I was done, he uncrossed his arm. You're not Mr. Pink.
And then you got Mr.
I
Blunt.
had to face reality. When I got home, they called me and they said, listen, Michael, you're Mr. Blunt or you're not in the movie. That's how that happened.
Okay, and it came out great. Did you improvise the stuck in the middle with you part cutting the ear? I mean, what made you think? I mean, that was fantastic. That made the whole movie.
No, I did. He never made me. Quentin never made me rehearse that when we were doing a rehearsal before we shot that thing. And every time we got to that point, he would never make me, because I kept saying, listen, I don't know what I'm going to do. I honestly don't know what I'm going to do. He said, well, Michael, we'll do it on the day. Yeah, we'll just do it on the day. Okay. And then the day came, and I was like, Mr. Blum maniacally dances around the manacled cop, is what it said. I didn't know what the hell that meant. And I honestly didn't know what to do, but I was it's for Stuck in the Middle, that music at that time.
Yeah.
And he wanted to get it. So I sang that song for one take because in the hopes that he would get it. And I made up the dance because I was trying to do my best imitation, Yankee Doodle Dandy.
Yeah. Okay. James Cagney. Right. Exactly. Well, it stole the scene, Michael. I mean, of all the movies that you made, do you have a favorite role that you would say if there was one movie or if one role that fit Michael? What would you say?
Well, gosh, it's so hard. It was up to so many other people and so much other talent that I can't put myself in that position. I think obviously Reservoir Dogs and Made Masco was, I think, one of the three best gangster pictures ever made. I did a couple of things that didn't get much distribution that I always thought were great. Cop picture with Daryl Hannah called Ice. And nobody ever saw the damn thing. It was a great cop picture. And I did a boxing picture. I played a prize fighter, ranked an honor. And there again, it went straight to DVD. Not a lot of people, things like that stick in my mind because they were so good, but never really how good they were. So I don't know. It's a toss up for me.
It's a toss-up for you. This is Ocean Spit, little show about big things, folks. Michael Manson is with us, folks. And, of course, we're talking about a very important thing, of course, American Badass. The documentary is coming out, folks. It's actually out, but it's going to be at the Des Plaines Theater on Wednesday, November 16th. It's going to have Michael there answering questions. Manenkow Mueller, of course, will be asking Michael these questions. You're going to be seeing the movie. It's going to be fantastic. Our band, Mojo's Jukebox, is kicking it off. Jimmy Place, of course, BJ Murray, Ron Onesti's putting it all together. Of course, American Badass director Dominique Milano and producer Todd Causley. It's going to be a great event. Tickets are oshows.com. It's going to be great. In a couple minutes, we're going to bring on the show Jimmy as well, Jimmy Place. Michael, I was going to ask you, TV and film. Now, you did some TV. I know started away. I remember Crime Story. Let's go back. Johnny Fosse, 86, 88.
I did a bunch of TV
Story.
TV stuff.
Yeah. And then you did Blue Bloods, not till season 3, I think. You played Benjamin Walker in Blue Bloods. Do you like TV?
Yeah.
Do you like TV?
I made Donnie Wahlberg dig his own grave.
There you go. Yeah.
He's a
good
actor, Donnie. I did Cagney and Lacey and Jake and the Fat Man and good Lord, yeah. I did Miami Vice.
Do you like TV better than films, if you had to pick?
Back in the day, and those kind of shows, they were great to be on. Miami Vice and those pictures were, I mean, those shows were a great fun to, they'd be on television and your family could see them. And some of those reruns, and I'd love to do a series at this point. I did a pilot last year, and I really got high hopes for that to turn it into a series.
So that would be fantastic to get you on a regular
Yeah.
basis. Maybe, hey, how about you being the new Rockford? Oh, that would be awesome, right? New Jim Rockford. You'd be perfect at that. That'd be awesome.
They on the beach down in Malibu where they used to shoot that.
Very, very cool. Well, Michael Manson with us, folks. And we're going to bring Mr. Jimmy Place on. Our good friend Jimmy is going to be joining us here, folks. Jimmy, how you doing, sir?
I'm good, buddy. Can you hear?
We can hear you loud and clear. We have Michael and Jimmy Place on the show. I want to thank Jimmy. First, BJ Murray, we're going to be bringing on too. Of course, BJ and Jimmy was the reason why we got Michael on the show and the reason why I got to perform with our band coming up on the 16th. Jimmy, American Badass, it's a talk of the town. It's 40 years of Michael's career. What do you think, man? We're excited. And when you see it, all those great people giving kudos to Michael for all his great work.
I mean, his work is fantastic, but I know him personally, and I had him in for the event that he helped raise a lot of money for children's years ago. So I got to know him. All the people that will come to this movie, they're going to love him. But I'm just honored and blessed to be his friend in real life. And he's a great man. He's a good man. And there's so many to him that a lot of people still don't know how charitable he is. He's a poet. He's that. He's just a real good human being. And I'm honored. American Badass is just a killer movie. And if I can just tell a funny, quick story.
Sure.
When we did this 2016, we were raising money for children's pediatric cancer for Advocate and also for the Imagine Dragons band's pediatric cancer foundation. Everybody loved it, but what was funny was the guy from Advocate Hospital came on stage and he did his talking about his kids and he had videos of his and everything. And the Imagine Dragons representative came on the stage and there's this and that and that. And then right after that, it was Michael's intro at about an 8-minute clip of watching there and do all this crazy stuff. People were like, "Oh my God!"
Yeah.
And the guy hospital looked at me. He goes, "What the F was that?" I said, "Anybody, chill out."
Okay.
Yeah, you mentioned something about Michael and being a poet and a photographer too. Michael, is poet stuff? You ever think of publishing that, or even of making a book of photos, Michael?
I wrote, and they're loaded up with photographs, and they all got published. And I kind of got, I'm not sure why, but I got, I haven't done it in a long time. In my younger day of wandering around, and I love it. I think I wrote some really great stuff, and it's short stories and poems, and I put them together because Dennis Hopper was always kind of did it, and he wrote the foreword for the very first book that I did, and David Carey one, and Quentin wrote the foreword for one of them. They're on Amazon. You can. I haven't written for a long. I started again about a month ago. Actually, it's a little more mature, the stuff now, and maybe I'll do another wood. Yeah.
Oh, so that would be good. I'd like to reach something like that and put a book together with all your photos would be great too. Michael,
Sure.
all the movies that you've made. I mean, there's so many great ones. I mean, even let's go back to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Kill Bill, of course, we talked about it. Well, how is Quentin Tarantino as a director?
Well, he's about
How
as
is-
good as they get.
Yes,
I mean, he's
yes.
as good as they get. He's a great friend, and he's been like a brother to me. And those guys where he walks in the room and he looks around, and you can complete what he's going to do and exactly how he's going to do it. I just watched Kill Bill, and I watched 1 and 2, and brilliant picture. I don't think people realize how great that thing is. It's that Academy Award, hands down. And I would never understand why she did it. He just he'll spoil you, Quentin.
Yeah.
Because you get and you have so much fun. He makes a really fun set, and cheers.
It makes it easier for you to do your job too, which was fantastic.
And when you go to do another, you really miss it, and you miss him, and it's not going to be like that always. One of those guys, he had a plan for his life. He had a plan for his picture. Everything he planned is exactly what happened. You can't say that about a lot of people. He's not stupid, and he's not going to be around. He's going to do one more picture, and then he doesn't want to do a bunch of bad pictures at the end of his career.
Sure,
he wants
sure.
the 10 pictures that he's going to make. That's it. He bought a couple of theaters now. He's going to travel around the world with his prints and show his movies. And he wrote he's right in there, but I think he wants to retire. I just hope I'm in it.
Yeah, he's got to go the last one and bring you back in on that one. Absolutely.
In on the last
Ocean's
one, please. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think he probably will.
I hope that too. Ocean's Pit, little show about big things with Michael Manson on, folks. We're going to bring on one of the guys that putting this thing together too, along with Jimmy Place. My good buddy, originally from New York, right now from Chicago. Our good buddy BJ Murray. BJ's in the house. BJ, what's up, buddy?
What's up, Pally boy? How are you?
Good, good, good. I know we're all excited. We're all excited. Chicago's all excited. Everybody's excited about American Badass. It's going to be Joe Factor Entertainment, director Dominique Milano, produced by Todd Causley. American Badass, Wednesday, November 16th at the iconic brand new, just celebrating the 1-year anniversary with Ron Onesti, just took it over. Of course, tickets are oshows.com. BJ Murray, Jimmy Place, of course, the incredible Michael Manson. We're kicking off the show with Mojo's Jukebox. BJ, what's the night plan? Red carpet? What's going on?
Yeah, I think we're going to kind of go all out for Michael and Mike. Good to hear your voice, man. And I know Jimmy's on the other line. And I was excited when Jimmy got a hold of me about a couple months ago. We started talking about one thing, and then ended up with a whole nother thing. And I think this is going to be a really great fun night for, of course, a lot of people who admire Michael's work and know he's a Chicago boy originally and ever since high school. And so I just started, Jimmy said, "Hey, Beach, let's talk about this thing." And bingo, I thought Ron Onesti would be the best guy to take it to. And he's doing some great things out there at the Plains Theater. I'll be seeing you tomorrow at his other theater, the Arcada, with John Waite. But it's going to be, we're going to have the lights out there, make it really feel like Chicago premiere. It's not my first rodeo. I've done stuff like this before, but to have someone local come back home and be there and be present and tell his story, and of course my good pal, everyone's pally Mancow, doing the Q&A. It'll be a fun night, and you guys open it up. I don't know, Mike doesn't know, but you and Nick are two of some of the best musicians in the Chicagoland area, period. And I've been around, from Limelight, China Club, House of Blues, all that stuff.
Sure.
But it's gonna be a great night, and I think I'm trying to pull out some plugs and trying to get some of Michael's peers there to maybe show up, and hopefully they'll stop by and maybe surprise him. And I had a little opportunity to talk to him a couple weeks ago, and we have some good mutual friends like Mikey Starr and I was with Chaz, as you know, Palm Cherry, and they both send their best and wish them all the best in the documentary. And I want to be a big success for, for Dominique, the director, and for my old pal Todd, who I've known for 35 years. So
Yeah.
I'm excited about it, man. I think it's great.
Deal, BJ. It's going to be a big deal, and I'm glad you're part of it. And Michael, of course, Michael Manson, they're 40 years retrospective of his career. We also, Michael, what is in the future after this? Are you working on anything? I know you can't say anything, but anything in the works that we'll be seeing soon, Michael Manson?
Well, I mean, let me first say that I really appreciate what you are doing at the theater, Jimmy and his pals, and put the nice thing for me, and it means a lot to my family. It means, of course, for the documentary. A lot of people put a huge effort in to make that thing. Thank you guys so much for doing this for me. And I got a few things. I got a picture I'm going to do in Mexico, and I have. I'm working on a big video game with Kim Basinger and Danny Glover, and some good people in there. And boss, and I'm the crime boss, and it's a lot of fun. The video is pretty huge, and the one that I just finished is going to be great. I think it's around Christmas time or in early next year.
Next year. Well, we're going to be excited for anything that you put out, Michael. Jimmy's want to get back on again. Jimmy, where are you at over here? Jimmy Places was here a minute ago. We're going to get Jimmy has one more thing he wants to say. We're trying to get him up back over here. Jimmy, see if he can pop back on again. It's Wednesday, November 16th, ladies and gentlemen, at the Des Plaines Theater. We've got the premiere of American Badass here in the city of Chicago. Let's bring Jimmy on again, and oshows.com for tickets. It's going to be great. Jimmy Place is back with us. Jimmy, what do you got for us, pal?
Well, I want to shout out and give a giant dear friend Joanne Bufus and her Joe Factor Entertainment. For real, with her, we couldn't have gotten this going.
Right.
Okay, I want everybody to go to her website and check out her Art is the Answer for Children. She's heavily into helping the children. She's got an awesome company, and she's going to be doing an awful lot around the world. She wants to get my in Art is the Answer, but I can't say enough about her and her company and herself and everything she's been doing. She just helped all the kids when that thing happened in Highland Park, so coloring books and everything for the kids.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fantastic. Everybody's trying to do the right thing, putting out some stuff. What a great team you got. Jimmy, BJ, I know you got the Chicago guys that we all are. Are you guys taking this movie premiere other places, other cities?
I mean, let's see how this one rolls and see how it goes, right, Jim? And with Michael, I mean, who knows? Yeah.
No, sure, guys. I mean, hey, Tony, where did you say you saw it before?
I'm sorry, what was that?
In the beginning of the show, you said you saw the doc before.
Yes, it was at Elmhurst. It was a private screening that Todd. I'm sorry, hold on real fast. Go back over there. Todd Closley and Matt Kassane are good friends of ours. It was in Elmhurst, a private showing.
I guess he snuck that in because he never did know anything about that.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go, sir. Anyway,
that's a sneaky Todd.
Well, Michael, listen, I know you're busy. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
There's audio. Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, Michael Manson, thank you so much for being on the show. I really do appreciate it. We want to thank also Jimmy Place. We want to thank BJ Murray. It's going to be a great event, folks. It's going to happen Wednesday, November 16th, Des Plaines Theater. Everybody, get your tickets at oshows.com. That's oshows.com.
Or they could call the box office too, Tony. It's even better. Easier. They could call the box office with ticks.
Oh, and bottles. So make sure the box office, but it's going to be good, man. It's Wednesday, 16th, and we're doing a bunch of promo. It's going to be all over the social media like it is already. And when BJ and Jimmy, they put everything together, the party is going to be big. Again, thank you guys so much. Let's give it up for Mr. Michael Manson. Thank you much for your time, Michael. I really appreciate it, and I hope you enjoy. It's just I don't get a chance like this to interview someone who's as an icon and for the beautiful business. And you've been a big influence on watching all your great movies, sir. I want to thank you for your time.
Tony. Thank you very much.
You got it. Have a great day,
We'll
guys.
see. Tony, great job, man. And we'll see you soon, Pally. All right.
Peace and love,
Bye.
everybody. Thank you
Peace
so
and love.
much. Ocean's
Mike.
Pit, ladies and gentlemen, B.J. Murray, Michael Manson, legendary American icon, movie actor, man. The movie's called American Badass, coming out at Des Plaines Theater on the 16th of November. I just, list. There's just so many movies. I mean, you're thinking about, it goes back to War Games, Wide Earth, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Kill Bill, Thelma and Louise, The Natural, Reservoir Dogs, Donnie Brasco, Hateful Eight. I mean, the list goes on and on of stuff, and we're going to hope get more great stuff coming from Michael Manson, of course.
Hey, Tone, can I say one thing? Michael, are you still there, Michael?
Yeah, I'm here.
Is Mike still there? Hey, Mike, how you doing? It's BJ. This is how small the
I'm
world
good,
is.
BJ, I'm good.
My niece in LA did a movie with you where you played the president. Her name is Jasmine, and she told me last night to say hello and send you a big hug. That's how small the world is. She was in a movie with you called Unbelievable, and I think you played the president of the United States, and she sent her love and sent you a big hug.
Now you're talking. Now get Michael as the president. I say, I'll vote.
There you go. You got my vote too, pal. Yeah.
So a black cowboy hat as the president.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. That's how small the world is, man.
Well, yeah, folks. We thank Ocean's Pit. We got some sponsors we need to thank. We want to thank our good buddies from Armando's Supermarket, 925 Liberty Street in Elgin, Illinois. Don't forget our friends from Crash Champions. That's crashchampions.com. Collision Auto Repair. Very important, guys. And let's not forget the other sponsors, of course. But before that, it's most important just to thank you all for being on the show today. We're going to end it. You know what? Because I can't continue because I did what this is fantastic. I'm still psyched just for that. And Michael Mann said, "Hey, I love your shirt, Tony." Oh my God, that's fantastic.
There you go.
Anyway,
later, Tone. Later, Mike. Later, Mike. Later, Tone.
Okay.
You got it, guys.
Okay, guys.
Everybody, thank you so much. I want you all to have a great day. And remember, folks, buy local, shop local. Remember, come out and vote on Tuesday, November 8th. It's very important. We need to make a change. And I want to thank you all for watching the show every day. And every show goes out to the first responders and everything that you guys do for everybody. We really do appreciate it, folks. And thank you if it wasn't for our fans here, we never would have won the Josie Award in Nashville, Tennessee last week at the Grand Ole Opry for internet talk show, independent internet talk show. So thank you all very much. God bless you. Again, thank you, Mr. Michael Manson. Enjoy. We're looking at Last Chance, folks, Wednesday, November 16th. Des Plaines Theater, American Badass. It's going to be fantastic. A red carpet treatment with one of the best American icon actors ever, Mr. Michael Manson. Thank you so much for your time, everybody. You have a great day. In the great words of Ringo Starr, peace and love, everybody. Peace and love. And we're going to take us out with Nick Stahodges. Take us out, the Piano Man. God bless you, everybody. Have a great day.
Time to go. It's the end of the show. See you later from Tony.
God bless you, everybody.